Welcome back to Trade Mornings, all for Red Energy and Toyota. Sam McClure and Nick Dalsano being joined by the Adelaide star himself, a man who captained the club on a couple of occasions this season, in Tom Lynch. Tom, welcome to Trade Mornings.
Thank you. Current captain, I think.
Oh, yeah?
We'll go through the whole summer,
Okay.
I would have thought. So.
I'll
pass that on to
You expect
Taylor.
to be holding it?
Oh, through the whole summer at least.
Tom, you've sort of got your own experience of this time of the year. It's, a lot of players moving left and right. You started your career at a club I'm sure you have still a lot of love for, in the Saints. Didn't get many opportunities and then found your way to Adelaide. Talk us through that period of your life.
Yeah, certainly. Obviously, when I was, moving clubs, it wasn't, getting traded and trade radar and all those things that are going on now wasn't as big. But for me, it was certainly something different. I wasn't, I was looking for opportunity, as you said.
So, talk us through the conversation at the time. Did Adelaide come to you? Did they approach St Kilda? Did St Kilda first have a conversation?
So at the time,
with you?
I was still contracted at St Kilda.
Yep.
I think it wasn't too long after I actually just signed a contract. Wasn't getting many opportunities, and was thinking, how long is this going to last, basically. Then had Paul Connors, my manager, had a few discussions with him. I was trying to obviously, wanted to play AFL footy. We spoke about maybe looking for opportunity elsewhere, and then I went away. Once I came back, he said, look, I've got a few clubs that want to meet. We told St Kilda and went through that process. Met Adelaide first and then didn't worry about meeting anybody else. So
you knew as soon as you walked out of the conversation with Adelaide?
So Sando had just come on as coach of Adelaide. Met him first thing on the Monday morning when I got back, and from that point on, I was on a flight that morning at 10 a.m, so... all happened pretty quickly.
We often hear, even in the last few years after your move, about players weighing up their possibility of playing. Talk us through what actually goes through your mind when you're thinking, do I dig in here and stay and work my way into the team where the previous or the current club that you're at, compared to, it's probably worth me leaving now and getting opportunities sooner?
Yeah, definitely. For me, it was about digging in and working through that process. But I probably did that a couple of years prior. I thought and. From that point on, it got to a point where I had to get a fair bit of advice from a couple of players as well that were at the St Kilda, at the Saints, and they basically told me, you're best to go. So from that point, I was all for moving, and it didn't really matter whether it was interstate or anywhere else. It was just about finding, the best spot for me.
And it's been an amazing move for you. I mean, Dal, he turned himself for a few years there into a one-of-a-kind player, that push-up half-forward that could go right into the wing, come back through the half-back flank and link up with the rest of his teammates. Played in a grand final, obviously, last year. I know you didn't get the result that you wanted, but it's been an amazing move for your football career.
Yes, yeah, unbelievable. We've got some really good talent at our footy club at the moment, and moving across, we had some superstars when I first got there, and they're still sort of there now. And it's been great that you're able to play, and it does make a huge difference once you're able to get some continuity in playing consistently. How that can help your football, but it has. It certainly has.
You're a player that's gone the other way in regards to being at home and living around the corner from Moorabbin at the time, and with your family, to going interstate. Talk us through that, because we hear so much about players getting homesick and wanting to go back closer to family and friends. You did the opposite. Yeah,
I mean, for me it was, it was simple. I wanted to play footy. Didn't matter where I was going to go, and I knew a few guys over there already. So Rory Sloane, Paddy Dangerfield, Sean McKernan, these guys were already in Adelaide. So I sort of felt like I had some mates over there before I got there. But once I got there, I mean, the footy club makes you feel like you're at home. So for me, it was the environment and the culture. I instantly I was able to create some really good friendships with the people there, and you're at the footy club so often that I think that if you enjoy it there, it feels like home anyway. And being only an hour away, it's not too bad.
Let's dive into that culture and environment. Explain what that is and what you see and what you feel to make yourself feel so comfortable so quickly.
Oh, it's just the people. The people are the. And the way they go about coming to work each day is what basically makes a good footy club. I mean, culture's a word that gets thrown around a lot, but the behaviours of people are, and the thought and hope to want to go to work each day is what makes our place such a great place. And I mean, we've had 18 guys I think this year that have re-signed at the footy club, and a lot of those guys have just had newborn babies too. So a lot of them are from Melbourne as well. So not coming home to their families to start a family as such, and they're staying over there. And I've had all my 3 kids over in Adelaide, and you know, can only really do that as well. One, because I've got a great partner, but also support of the footy club is just awesome.
We read a couple of days ago that part of the pitch for Carlton to try to get Dylan Shield was flying him on a private jet to Noosa. What was the pitch for you as a 21-year-old?
It wasn't a private jet, and I wouldn't have been to Noosa either. I've just been to Byron, and I don't look like it, but
he's got a good glow going.
Good glow about it, yeah.
So I guess on that though, Tom. So at the time, what else did Adelaide do to sort of speak to either your family or your girlfriend at the time, or try to get people that you were close to on side as well?
No, not really much at all. I mean, I was a bit different, as I said. I was looking for opportunity, and Brenton Sanderson at the time, who had just signed as the coach, he had a fair bit to do with the Geelong VFL. And when I was playing at Sandringham, he was well aware of, or knew me pretty closely. And when I had a chat with him, he seemed like he knew how I was as a player and how he wanted to envision me playing for the Crows. So for me, that instantly made me feel comfortable, made me feel like he actually wanted me. Wasn't just the recruiters or someone saying, you know, we should go after this guy, we want you. And then he was learning about me then. He knew about me already, so that sort of helped as well. But once I made my decision, I didn't want to go through too much of a process, and I was on a plane that early morning.
Was one of your considerations the coach at that time and how long he was going to be there for?
Yeah, certainly, yeah. So as he obviously a new coach, knowing that he was going to be there for a long time, that's obviously important. But for me, I mean, I was keen to get over there and just get a new fresh start. But knowing that the coach knew about me, was starting off himself, so he obviously had some time. You know, he wasn't going to go after a year. You knew that you know, that was you going through the process with him basically.
Did Sando speak to you about the role that, as Sam McClure has just mentioned, you've almost changed the way that moving third sort of tall plays the game? Was that spoken about and maybe spitballed around that this is a possibility for how important you can be to this structure?
Maybe. It's hard to sort of tell. I think he wanted me to be a bit more like Jack Darling. Don't have the size. Don't have the muscle.
You would have taken all that though, Tom.
I would have. So I haven't really met his expectations. But you know, for me, I mean, for getting into the side, and we had some, like, Kurt Tippett was there at the time. You know, Josh Engers wasn't in the side. Tex was playing some great footy. And Jason Paul-Pleasure was there. So it was hard to work my way in. But you know, I knew that I haven't got great marking prowess like these guys do, and I just had to really just get out of their way, basically. So that just sort of basically created my role of playing that high half forward, basically just trying to stay out of their way and being able to link up through them. You're
tuning in to Trade Mornings, all for Red Energy and Toyota. Sam McClure and Nick Dalsano being joined by Adelaide star Tom Lynch, a.k.a. Jack Darling. Tom, did you consider coming back to Victoria?
I don't know if I considered coming back. I definitely, you know, wanted to stay at Adelaide and always made my intention clear that I wanted to stay in Adelaide for all the number of reasons I just spoke about. But, I mean, it's a process. You go through a number of things. There are some temptations to come back. I spoke about, you know, family, having 3 kids under 5 and all those other scenarios that you face. But, yeah, it is definitely an option, and you have the temptations to do it. But once you feel, and I've told Dell this before, I do feel like I'm a one-club player, even though I did play at St Kilda. I feel like I've made my home at Adelaide. That's the club I'm a part of, and the players there and the relationships I've built with the start have made me feel like I've always wanted to stay.
Are the players more open about free agency conversations behind closed doors these days? You get the feeling at maybe the Giants a little bit more that these guys that are all probably, most of them from Melbourne, one day when we serve our time here at the Giants, we're going to come home. Do you guys ever have that sort of conversation, or at least that feeling?
I think it depends on the relationships you have with certain individuals. Like, you know, players at our footy club, I was open and talking to my mates about it all the time. And I was comfortable doing that because of the trust I have in them, and obviously letting them know I wanted to stay, be with them, them telling me the same as well. So, you know, those discussions we're having in my situation. You know, some others are, you know, keep it pretty close to their chest, and but are clear as well that, you know, what they want. But yeah, certainly for me, I was open to what was happening in my situation.
So much said with Jake Lever leaving 12 months ago and Tex Walker. What about just the general feel, once again, that you get Bryce Gibbs last year, now you get more opportunities of players both to come and go, the acceptance of the average player that this is just the world that you're living in?
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult situation. It is becoming more and more like, you know, the American system where guys are on the move quite frequent, and I personally don't mind it. Hey, it's quite intriguing seeing, you know, guys shifting clubs and that, but almost as a you know, footy community, whether that be the fans or the clubs, we sort of like just haven't got there yet in terms of accepting it. And I reckon that's a bit to do with the, you know, the way Australians are. You know, it's almost like stand by your mate sort of mentality. You know, don't leave your mate, stand by him sort of attitude. So fans are amazing, and our fans are super. You know, we get 50,000 to a game each week. They invest so much time into coming in and supporting a player. If they pack up and leave, it's hard. But it's hard. Also, we've got to look at who we've got Eddie Betts to the club. We've got Bryce, as you mentioned. We've got Josh Jenkins and these guys. So Sam Jacobs. So these guys are all coming across as well. So it works itself out. It obviously, but that's the emotion of it all. You know, Jake Lever leaving, it was disappointing because he was obviously a super player, and we would love to have kept him.
What about the actual mechanics of moving house? No one ever actually likes to do.
You're doing that this afternoon.
Yeah,
that's when you find out who your real friends are when you're moving house.
I've currently got 0 on the list that help me. The actual mechanics, Tom, of moving states, you've done it. We've got people like Dylan Shield, looks like he's coming back to Victoria. Lockie Neal's moving across the other side of the country to play in Brisbane. Do the clubs that you're going to sort all that out for you to make it better?
They did at the time when I was getting traded. So
probably an underrated thing. We don't think about it. I'm sure you guys, when you move, do.
Yeah, definitely. So they drive your car over, or not drive your car, they throw it in the back of a truck, and all your other bits and pieces. And when I was 20, I didn't have too many of those, and now with 3 kids, it would be a bit more difficult to move home. But they move everything for you. So by the time you get there, they're really good, obviously, at sorting out where you're going to live. And most guys that do come over live, unless they've got families, would live with a player or you know, or someone at the footy club for a small amount of time. But you know, most of the young guys that do come over, whether it be draftees as well, they would stay with a player. You know, at least until Christmas for the first bit of pre-season.
Before we let you go, I know it was a disappointing year for the Crows. You're one of the leaders there. How confident are you that you can bounce back to the Adelaide that we saw tear up the competition in 2017? Yeah,
very confident. I mean, it's you know, it's been a challenging year for us, but you know, at the same time, I think we were closer to either 3rd or 4th than we were 13th, and we finished 12th. So we had 12 wins. Wasn't where we wanted to be, obviously. We'd love to be playing finals, and it, you know, really hurt watching on. But at the same time, we're very optimistic that we can get a few guys back and healthy this year, and you know, we saw some emergence of some really good players. Like Wayne Miller has really come on as a player, and Tommy Duday's had a super year as well. So you know, they're just a number of guys, but you know, it's really exciting times at the footy club, and you know, we've got a number of early picks as well, and they're saying it's a super draft. So the boys will get to work at the footy club, and you know, we'll be a better team next year.
Analysing your list currently, what do you think you need?
Have you already analysed our list?
I've had a little look, Tom, but I'm more interested. No. I'll ask the questions here, Chomps. What do you think you need? Not a style of player. What do you think you're missing? I think you can definitely improve from what you delivered in the last 12 months compared to the previous. Sure. But in style of player, what area of the ground?
I think we've. If you look at our list, we've got just about everything covered. We just need to put it all together. You know, we've got some stars at our footy club and some really good players that have you know, gotten better over the last couple of years and really improving their footy. If anything, we need a bit more speed, or you know, guys to play a bit more consistently. So you know, it'd be nice to get some fresh faces in with the draft coming up. I've already had a couple of guys say that they'd like to come to the Crows as well in the trade period as well with Titans. So that's exciting for us, exciting for our fans, and you know, hopefully that can make us a better team.
I'm just going to change tack here a little bit. You have Instagram and Twitter?
I do. I'm not going to Richmond.
How many messages did you get people confusing yourself for the real Tom Lynch?
Don't say the real.
No, the real one. The good one.
Yeah, the good one.
Yeah.
He didn't play this year. But, yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, I've been getting threats.
Have you really?
Yeah, it's been ridiculous. Like, there's passionate Gold Coast fans sledging me big time about leaving the club. I've had a few people welcome me to the club as well, which has been nice. So I don't reply to them, obviously, but it's at some point in time, people have got to work it out. The funny thing is, actually, Gold Coast News and that put my Twitter handle in their news thing, but it's Tom Lynch 27. Like, he's never worn 27. Like, come on.
He's still 19.
Tom Lynch with the same manager as well.
With same manager, so
And same pay packet.
yeah. So I once got a Virgin Australia business class upgrade to America,
No, you didn't.
but it was for him. So obviously the excitement level rose, and then
It got taken away from you.
got taken away from
I
me.
like
Oh,
that.
it doesn't.
I like
It
that.
doesn't get harder. than that. Dal doesn't have to wait for those upgrades. He just walks straight to the front.
That's not true.
Tommy, appreciate your time. Good luck in
Thanks for having me on,
2019.
guys. Cheers.